Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Duskmos, and today I'm here talking about something a little bit different, and that is a piece of gear that is the Dirtywave M8, or Mate. If you're interested in hearing this thing in all its glory, I'm not actually doing that today. I'm just going to be talking about kind of what my thoughts and opinions on it after checking it out for a little bit. And contrary to popular opinion, I actually don't like it very much. And I think most of the commentary I'm seeing out there is about how great it is. And so I'm just going to share a different opinion and yeah, just start that conversation here. That being said, if you want to hear this thing, Red Means Recording on his channel, super awesome demo of it. He did a whole album and it sounds amazing, and it's partly what kind of sold me on this as something to check out. I mean, I was already interested, of course, but I saw that demo, heard the thing, and I was like, oh my god, this thing can do so much, and it really can. But before I get negative on this thing, let's talk about some of the good stuff. First up, it just sounds freaking good. The synth engines and everything that is built in here, it's just really capable, and it produces really high quality sound. You know, super clear, really good synthesis and sound management. I think it runs at a pretty high bit rate. I don't have all the specifics on that, but I do just know that to my ear, it sounds fantastic. Another really big feature that kind of sold me on it in the first place was that it samples, and that's really cool to have the built-in sound sequencing, synthesis capabilities, and sampling in the device. Not just playing back samples is a really cool feature, and not super common, especially in something as, you know, thin and portable as this is. To talk a little bit more about the capabilities of this thing, it also can output full tracks as well as individual stems and everything right out of this little slim device. And that's pretty epic. The fact that you can do that and then take it further in a DAW or another tool of your choosing is really cool and a really nice and powerful feature. One thing that it also does is it has a memory card. It's a micro SD, really tiny. It comes with a 32 gig right out of the box, SanDisk quality stuff. I guess it is a little bit picky with the types of cards that it uses, but that's because it does something really cool and streams all of the sample data directly off the card. So you can play extremely long samples, and the only thing that kind of could slow it down is its own you know, processing power, but it's beefy, and so people are having a lot of really good success with this. And I think my last pro with this is just that it's extremely portable. You can see just how thin it is. It's crazy. I have my iPhone here, and it's, you know, it's on par, and that's pretty impressive. It is super lightweight, metal build, really just high quality construction. I like the tactility of these keys. I don't know if that's coming up on the mic, but sounds really, it feels really good in the hands. And yeah, it's really easy to take with you. And that's great. But there's some things that I don't like about it. And being able to take it with me everywhere is great. That doesn't really matter if I don't like these things. So I think my first con of the Dirtywave M8 or Mate is just that it is a device for people who kind of know what they want, I think, a little bit already. You know, I don't come from a background of using trackers, and having to go into these like sub menus and stuff and do things I'm just clicking around here, and I'm at a loss when I'm trying to talk and do this at the same time because, well, it's a whole other thing. We'll talk about that in a second. But if you have to program in the notes that you want, and when you want them and what they're set to, I'm not a musical genius, I'll admit that, and so I just don't love that I kind of lose the ability to noodle around on something like this. It's very much for someone who wants to program to the highest degree. And if you want that, it's here and it's available to you. And that's really, really cool. But for me, I like a little bit more of that kind of loose experimentation stuff that can happen by chance. And, maybe that speaks to my musical ability or lack thereof. But it's also just how I like to do things. And it's just not quite there for me with this device. And so that actually brings me to my next point, which is navigation. Having to jump around on this, and I'm sure you could fly, once you learn your way around, and you can go between different pages and stuff, and I don't know, add things, and it's just not quite intuitive. But if you come from a tracker background, again, you'll probably pick this up and jump right in. And, I'm a big fan of Electron devices, and, they're not known for their usability either. But they still have that XOX style, hit the steps and adjust your micro timing type stuff. And that is a little bit more approachable and a little bit more fast moving for me when I'm just trying to come up with stuff. Another area that this kind of lost me is that it comes with a card reader, and I was surprised by that. I was like, "Oh, that's cool, nice to that was thrown in." But I realized quickly that is actually due to the fact that when you try to mount this with USB, it doesn't show up as a browsable device. At least not on my Mac. I don't know if other people have had other experiences, but that's just not my experience. And so I realized that if I want to take my files off of this, I have to take the card out, put it in the little card reader, do that whole thing. And it would be awesome if you could just plug it in and have it mount and show up. And maybe that could be fixed in a software update, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. But for me, that's just like an added step that isn't as slick as it could be. So overall, I think the M8 or Mate, I'm still not sure. I think it could go either way, is a really powerful device that sounds really good and is really cool in so many ways. But then just getting in my hands and actually using it, I just realized it just doesn't work with my workflow. And it kind of comes down to like a speed thing, feeling slowed down for me by at least not having all the, button combos memorized and knowing all the pages and not really being as familiar with trackers. It just is slowing me down, slowing down the process and not allowing me to be maybe as creative as I would be had I had some keys or some, knobs and sliders and things like that around, which I feel like is just definitely more my speed. Now, that is to say that I think this is actually an amazing device. It's just for the right person, it's a game changer, I'm sure. And I really actually have no problem with it. I think it's great. I think the value is there. And I think there's a cool community around it. And I know they do the kind of live streams and they're doing updates and they have the headless version. And I'm really into the project and I support it as a thing. It's just me as an individual. I'm just not their customer, I guess. So is it for you? Maybe, and maybe actually everything I listed will convince you to actually pick one up instead of avoid it. Or if you're more like me and, maybe you're not super into the whole tracker scene and stuff and you're just trying to check something out, maybe this isn't the right thing for you and I could save you the headache. Or maybe, try the headless version, download that and try that out and just see how that goes before you try to hunt one of these down. They're not the easiest to get. They're not impossible either. You just have to watch the website. So anyway, I'm curious what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm happy to have more discussions on this. Tell me if I'm wrong about something. I haven't had it that long. I got it just a couple months ago, and I haven't really used it too much. Maybe, I don't know, a number of hours. I got sort of faster with the button combos after a little bit, but I just found that I didn't really personally enjoy it. And maybe you did, maybe you love it, and yeah, like, defend it. Let's talk about it. Also, let me know what you think about this kind of video coming from me. It's not my typical thing. And I think in the future, when I demo other gear pieces, I'll likely, actually demonstrate it more and not just make it a discussion. But I think this one, I'm not doing that because of the sort of complexity, at least for me, in using it. And then also because I'm listing it for sale already, I've just made that decision. I don't think I have enough time to dedicate to it, to learning it and to figuring it out and to getting the most out of it. And I know that's on me, but hey. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.